Hello, good evening. This is Brother Benson Media, and we're live on our sister channel as well, Kikao na Sauti. And as usual, over here we do say that your opinion counts. I want to request you that if you'll be watching this, we request that you kindly like and subscribe. Because if you do so, it is a way of supporting us as a channel, and we will always be grateful. Tutasema ni asante. And so this evening, I want us to have a look at what has been trending, more so in the field of politics, where we are seeing quite a number of issues being raised by the people of Kenya, quite a number of questions being asked by the people of Kenya. Some of these questions are, of course, the issue or the scandal surrounding the payroll. We're also seeing the scandals which are consistent around that particular payroll within the ministries in the government. Question that, something that Kenyans are asking, how and how could it have happened? Those are, of course, some of the questions that are coming in. The other thing that I want us to have a look at is the issue of abduction, where, we are seeing a lot of people being abducted left, right, and center. We are seeing some videos, people being bundled and, being placed in a Subaru. And then after some few days, they're found in different places, some of them tortured. They're crying. But then the government comes and says they're not responsible. The government comes and says they are not aware. And so the question that is then coming is, are there goons in the Republic of Kenya? Are there thieves? Are there people with bad behavior characters that are coming out to, involve themselves or take part in abducting fellow Kenyans? And for what reason? The other question that is coming up is, why is it that the people who are being abducted, majority of them are people who are against the government? Well, who might be having issues or problems with them? Those are some of the questions that are coming up. The other thing that I want us to have a look at is the issue of NTSA. NTSA has been trending here in Kenya. There's so many procedures that they have taken, which are Kenyans are not finding to be, making sense. For instance, the inspection that they're trying to propose. Well, we saw the NTSA boss defending the same. But what are the people of Kenya saying? And again, at a point where, or at a time where, majority are feeling that there is much that they are facing, there is much that the government is, that the government is demanding from them. Yeah. And the issue of speed, where quite a number of Kenyans are being charged for overspeeding and they're being told to pay 10,000 shillings. But Rigathi Gachagua is also coming to say that the 10,000 shillings that is supposed to be paid via KCB, it is being wired or paid to a personal number. So the other question is this true? Yes, and again, the issue of abduction. I was just reading something here that the information on the alleged chain of abduction within the country's security system, including details of secret unit reportedly designated to deal with individuals deemed problematic to the government. That is from the KTN. So these are some of the issues. So these are some of the uh, you know um, the trending matters that are currently uh, that Kenyans are currently dealing with. So as I want us to get deep into this conversation, I want to say that over here we do say that your opinion counts, and if you are watching for the first time, and as usual, we do say that your opinion counts. Thank you so much, and I want to just get straight to the conversation where the payroll scandal, abductions, NTSA money, Rigathi Gachagua versus President William Samoei Ruto. And as I get, or as I start, allow me to welcome you back to Brother Benson. And I am aware that we had a show that, we had a show at around 6, 7. And this is the second that we are coming with this evening. Allow me to just welcome you back to the show. And this is where we break down Kenya's biggest political stories, regional tensions, and the conversations shaping East Africa. And so tonight we are diving into corruption, the media freedom within the East African society or nations, the immigrations crackdown, which we are seeing happening. There is a lot of chaos in South Africa. And so the immigration of the Republic of Kenya giving their bit or their view on what is happening. And of course, the issue of abductions and the political fallout within the Kenya Kwanza that is shaping the country Kenya. So let's get straight to this. And as usual, allow me to just remind everyone who is watching that if you are watching for the first time, you can kindly like and subscribe. You can engage us at the comment section if you have a question here and there, so that we can be on the same page, and probably you can hear your take as well. Yes, so the first one that I want us to discuss or to have a look at is the 6.2 billion payroll audit, which is coming as a shocker. So let's start with the story that has, of course, been shaking the country. The 6.2 billion payroll scandal, where the Auditor General released a report showing billions paid out across ministries with no proper explanation. Ghost workers, the issues that they were raising is there are quite a number of ghost workers, these double salaries, where individuals are paid twice, payment to people who left government years ago. A question that is also coming, and the question is, how is it possible that somebody has left government and they're still earning? The issue of allowances that cannot be traced. The other issue that the Auditor General is raising is that people are being given or money is being wired for the purpose of allowances, but it cannot be traced. There are actually no clarification as per why the money has been given for the allowance purposes. The issue of ghost workers, they're saying there are quite a number of people who are ghost workers within the several ministries. Some people are being paid twice. And of course, all these cannot be traced. So this is not a small mistake. This is not a problem mistake. A system mistake. Because if it were so, then it could be, system will give you what you feed in. And of course, system will have the information that you've decided or you've allowed it to have. So what I think here is it is upon the relevant people within these ministries. This is a well organized and it is something that the DCI should take very actively to give the people of Kenya an answer as per what is happening. Kenyans are angry, and rightfully so, because at a time when taxes are rising, when the cost of living is high, when the people are struggling, you cannot have billions disappearing through payroll fraud. The government says ministries have been ordered to verify staff records. They are talking about digital payroll system. They're talking about internal investigations. But Kenyans are asking, will anyone actually be held responsible? And the other question that is also coming is, there are people within these departments. Why is it that they're not doing their role? Why is it that they are not performing their role as per what probably they had been given to do? Those are, of course, some of the questions that are coming up. And that's the big question, because we've seen audits before, we've seen reports before, but accountability, very rare. And that is part of the reason why young people, the Gen Zs, went to the street as a way of simply demonstrating to show that they were not happy with what was happening in Kenya. So the question that I would want to hear from you is, do you think this time do you think this time the DCI will give us something different? I can say over my side that it is not easy, because we've had consistency, and of course we've had similar behaviors here and there. We've never had any serious measures taken by the relevant people. So it is not easy, but of course we will wait to see how it's going to change, or how it's gonna turn out. That should be my take. Something else that I wanted us to just give our views on is the issue of IEBC, which IEBC is coming out to warn the politicians, saying that they should stop paying goons. This is a question that came when they had been asked about what is happening within the country and what they are doing about the rogue candidates. And the commissioner that was representing them simply came and said that it is the politicians who are paying these particular goons, and therefore it is not easy to tame them. It is not easy to do away with them, because it is the responsibility of the individuals to find a way of ensuring that they stop the bad behavior of paying these particular, young youths, so that they don't get themselves, or they don't participate in bad activities similar to operating as goons. So the IEBC is simply telling the politicians to stop paying the goons. It also says that the political violences, the violence is rising, and goons are being hired to disrupt rallies, something which is very true. Intimidation of opponents is what we are also seeing. We've been seeing whenever Rigathi Gachagua, whenever the likes of Edwin Sifuna, whenever the likes of Linda Mwananchi are going for rallies, they've been, we've seen a lot of this, and this creates serious and a lot of chaos, and of course has led to even fighting or fights, which has led to even death of the people of Kenya. It is something that really needs to be looked into. So this is dangerous because it undermines democracy. The Kenyan constitution is very clear, and it is very elaborate. It talks about democracy. It talks about people making independent views, independent decisions, similar to which, whether it's political or whichever decisions they want to make. So the behavior of goons are really distorting the public participation. because Kenyans, in their normal senses or in their normal minds, are simply afraid of coming out to give their views or to even participate in very important things that they are supposed to be coming out to give their views. The reason being, they are fearful of what may turn out. This creates a lot of fear. And so the IEBC is simply saying that if you want peaceful elections, stop funding thuggery. The other question that is coming is, will the political class stop? Because what we've seen is they're simply using these avenues as a way of threatening and also making their way to the ballot, or simply making their way to the winning. But the question that is then coming is, with a politician who has participated actively in supporting goons, what positive will they give once they're given the opportunity, to lead? And again, the goons, what will they expect? This particular leader, what will he even expect amongst his electorate or the goons? What will the goons also expect from him? That is why we've been saying that this is creating a very toxic environment, a very dangerous environment of society that really needs to be looked into. The security apparatus led by the internal security, I mean, the internal ministry really needs to come in handy together, working in hand with the police department to ensure that this issue is sorted and comes to an end. Because if it is not sorted, probably Kenyans will not find a good environment, on the day of making the decision of electing leaders. So this is a warning, but also a sign that IEBC is also worried about the next election cycle. And whenever this environment is created, automatically you'll never find that there is free, fair, and verifiable elections. So it is upon the political class to ensure that they come together and sort the issues. They come together and ensure that there is a peaceful environment where people can coexist. So the question that I want to hear or to ask is, should IEBC have stronger power to punish the politicians who hire goons? Probably yes, they should. But the other challenge, the other problem is the IEBC has also been accused of partly not using the powers they've been given. They've been accused of not following what the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya says. They've been accused of being too soft on the political class, because the Constitution is very clear. It gives some clarification, like, for example, whenever we see leaders misbehaving or doing activities which are not right, the IEBC has the authority to block them from running for political positions. That we've never seen, and them coming out to do. Yeah, so the next segment, or the next topic that I wanted us to just have a look at again, is the repatriation of Kenyans from South Africa, and not just Kenyans, quite a number of African citizens who are coming from different, states or countries. So let's move to South Africa. Immigration crackdowns have intensified. Kenyans were arrested for expired permits, overstaying. Not just Kenyans, it was quite a number of citizens from different countries within Africa. Some of them were arrested for lacking documents. But we saw Kenya arrange repatriation flight to bring them home. Some of them have been brought, some of them will be, they'll be going back for them. But this is bigger than just arrest. South Africa is tightening immigration because there is quite a lot in unemployment, which is very high in that particular country. And of course, there is also a political pressure, which is rising again in South Africa. So foreigners are really fearful of what is going to happen next, and they're also fearful of more raids within that particular place. They're also fearful of more deportations. They are fearful of more challenges while trying to renew their permits. Some of them are literally legally within that particular country, but it is not easy for them. They are finding a lot of challenges in ensuring that they renew their permits as per the laws of that country. So this is raising a lot of continental questions. There's what we call Pan-Africanism, or there's what we call, of course, nationalism. So the Pan-Africanism allows people to coexist within the republic, within the continent, within different places in Africa. But again, the nationalism is what is now being in place here. The nationals or the citizens of South Africa are feeling that the many Africans who are within that particular country, who have moved to that particular country, are making it tough for them to exist or to, manage their daily operations. So they are simply coming out to say they do not really want this. So we talk about African unity, but on the ground, we are seeing very little. The Pan-Africanism that our leaders have been singing, the presidents have been singing, the AU, for example, African Union have been singing for that. So countries are prioritizing their domestic politics more than the Pan-Africanism. This could, of course, trigger quite a lot in reciprocal policies, where countries are also going to come up to possibly make it tough for the citizens also of South Africa, not just South Africa, of other countries. So it is not a good move. So it could, of course, strain relationship, which probably it has. Strain relationship that with the strain, uh, relationship with currently that South Africa is facing from other countries. And of course, it could reshape the immigration pattern that we've always seen or witnessed. What is the solution to this? That is a question that someone might ask. African states need stronger migration agreements. They need what we call joint labor frameworks, and of course, better consular supports from their general body. Also, the AU and the bodies that are mandated in ensuring that the continent is a safe place and everything works well, they need to come out and possibly do what is right and, of course, what is expected of them. That would really save the people of Africa from such kind of embarrassment that we are currently experiencing. This really even affected the world. The World Cup, where, if you can remember, when South Africa or football were playing with Mexico, quite a number of African countries decided to support Mexico. Reason being, they were supporting Mexico because South Africa's partly misbehaved, or has partly made it tough for other Africans. Well, they might be following the law, but of course, the question is, are they doing it the proper way? So the question I want to ask is, should South Africa adopt a unified migration policy? That I'll leave to you, our listener, to give us your view on it. So something else is Uganda is under pressure from the media shutdown that was experienced. Uganda is under pressure after shutting down several media outlets, where the government says it was about national security and misinformation. But the journalists are saying that they were harassed. Their equipments were confiscated, and they were also silenced. A US senator responded by saying that the US is reviewing its relationship with Uganda. This is serious because it touches on human rights and, of course, the democratic values. In Kenya, here we saw Rigathi Gachagua also weighing in. He warns that suppressing the media is dangerous, and it is also happening in the Republic of Kenya. He said journalists are being attacked, for example, here in Kenya by the government elements. He links Uganda's situation to Kenya's rising concerns. We saw the Ugandan ICT minister defended the shutdown, saying it was necessary to protect stability and prevent foreign interference in Uganda. But the bigger picture, media freedom in East Africa is under pressure. This could affect international partnership, regional stability, and of course, public trust. The question I leave to our viewers is media freedom under threat in East Africa? To me, if you ask me, yes, it is under threat. The bad behavior in Uganda is being imported to the Republic of Kenya. So Kenyans need to be awake. Yes, I'll leave it at that. And the next thing I wanted to give or to speak about is the IBC appearance before, of course, the assembly, and the issue of NTSA money controversy. So IBC faced tough questions on preparedness, the budget, election system. MPs were demanding clarity, and the IBC insisted that they were ready. But concerns, of course, were raised, saying that they still need more money in terms of funding for them to have an opportunity to deliver. Then there is, of course, the issue of NTSA, where there's new fines which they are coming up with, and actually people are being forced to pay 10,000. There's inspection fees. There's, of course, high charges. Kenyans are really frustrated about this. And then we saw Rigathi Gachagua dropping a bombshell, claiming that NTSA money was being channeled to a personal account and that Kenya should not be paying for that. But the government is coming out to deny, saying the fines are legal and, of course, to improve road safety. But the Kenyans are asking, why are the costs rising? Why are they charging 10,000 for speeding? Why is compliance becoming very expensive? Where is the transparency? The question I'm leaving is, are NTSA fine fair or exploitative? So the next thing that I want to give a view on is, of course, the issue of abductions, where government's is denial versus the reality. Now, to one of the most sensitive topics that, of course, we are talking about is the issue of abduction. Activists and citizens have been reported, have reported multiple cases where victims say that they were held by state agents, but the government is denying involvement. But the contraction, but here's the contradiction. Abductions happened during campaigns. We saw abductions during the demonstration. There are even photos or videos of the same. They happened when Ruto was actually the deputy, and Ruto, as the deputy, came out and speak against it. When he was campaigning, he said that in his government we will never experience such a thing. But all these things, he was elected as the president. All these things are still happening. Promises, of course, were made to end the practice, yet cases continue. We saw Gachagua didn't hold back. He said, no need to abduct people, then pay compensation. He called it illegal. And he said it undermines democracy. This is about trust. Trust in security agencies, trust in government promises, trust in the law, and of course, trust in the rule of law. Have abductions become normalized in Kenya? Probably yes. That would be my take on that. And the next that I wanted us to have a look at before we close is Gachagua calling for boycotts. to all business associated with the President Ruto. Gachagua announced he is boycotting everything associated with Ruto's political circle. He cited that corruption, mismanagement, disrespect, and of course attempt to partly isolate the people of Kenya. He's saying that currently he has quite a number of lists of companies associated with the president, and probably is going to come out and give more, and he will give the next directive. That is what Rigathi Gachagua is saying. This, of course, is simply showing how there's serious differences within the political class, where the opposition are having their views, the government are having their views, the oppositions are pulling on the other end, and at long last, it is the people of Kenya who are hurting. It is the people of Kenya who are finding it tough. So all this push and pull, partly, we are seeing quite a number of politicians moving from alliances to alliances. We are seeing shifts within Mount Kenya politics. We are seeing it in different parts of the republic, and of course, partly this is reshaping 2027. So let's wait and see. This is not a small agreement. That is the agreement. The disagreement between the government and the opposition. It is not small. It is a full political challenge that Kenyans are going to experience. And I would like to end at that point. And I want to take this opportunity to, just appreciate. And so tonight we've covered the biggest stories shaping Kenya and, of course, East Africa and Africa, from payroll scandals and media shutdowns to immigration crackdowns and political fractures. These issues affect governance, democracy, and everyday life. You can give us your thought probably in the comment section so that we can hear from you. And as usual, let the conversation continues. I want to take this opportunity to appreciate and, just to say a big thank you to everyone who joined and participated in this particular podcast. We appreciate so much. We say a big thank you. This is Brother Benson Media. We're also live on our sister channel, Kikao na Sauti. And if you are watching for the first time, we request that you kindly like and subscribe, because if you do so, it is a way of supporting us. Na sisi hapa tutasemani asante. Allow me to take this opportunity to wish you all a blessed night, a blessed afternoon, a blessed evening, a blessed night. From wherever you're watching us from, thank you so much, and God bless you. See you again tomorrow. Bye-bye for today.